You study drama at the Webber Douglas Academy in South Kensington. After graduating, you go off to the Glasgow Citizens Theatre and then perform in rep all over the country. Leslie Joseph, it was around that time that you met?
It was around that time. We've known each other many, many years, and we've never actually worked together, but I've always been a huge fan, especially of that fantastic singing voice that you have. And in fact, I have to tell you, in the early days, I always wanted to be Anita Dobson. And just recently I was filming and an extra came up to me and said, oh my God, are you Anita Dobson? Because I've worked with you and I think you're brilliant. Now, as you know, I think you are brilliant and I'm thrilled to be here to part of this evening's celebration.
In 1976, you spent a year at the Palace Theatre in Watford doing everything from panto to Noel Coward and brand new plays. And Kate Williams, you were at the Watford Theatre.
Oh, yes, I was there. I was giving the Noel Coward at the time. In one of the plays, Neats was playing a particularly adenoidal, unpleasant young schoolgirl, and I was playing Mother. And I've been Mother ever since. Yeah. So much so that I was in Joe Allen's one night and Neats and Brian were at another table, and I understand that Mr. May excused himself from the table saying, "Excuse me, I've got to go and meet my mother-in-law." I'm very proud to be family, Neats, and I love you very much.
Now, in 1980, you have a go at children's television. You become a regular presenter on the classic show Play Away.
5 lumps in our coffee, lots of pepper, no more pop. When can we stop?
You can't play away without Brian Cant. Brian, was Anita a good playmate?
Yes. It really doesn't matter if it's raining or it's fine, just as long as you've got Anita in the company. She was a joy. Do you remember rehearsals? Every morning she used to call me Beeps. She used to come breezing in as bright as a button and attack my upper extremities. And probably that's what made my hair fall out. So watch it dry. But if it does happen, put some in an envelope with a bit of gauze and send it to me. You're a joy. We all love working with you. God bless.
In 1983, you take on the role of Kitty in a production of the famous farce Charlie's Aunt at the Lyric, Hammersmith. It transfers to the Aldwych Theatre for a record-breaking run. The man who would be Auntie is here, that fine farceur, Griff Rhys-Jones. Show us your bustle, then.
Well, now, this is going back a bit, isn't it? Actually, this was before EastEnders, so we would all study, and this was actually, I don't know if you knew, this was my first appearance on stage.
Yes, it was.
I'd never done a professional, so I was totally reliant on people who knew what they were doing. And you can imagine Anita really knew what they were, and we used to get most fantastic laughs. Very happy production, wasn't it?
You were brilliant.
It was just the most fun. We had so much fun doing that show.
I have to tell you, this man, we rehearsed, we opened, he got huge laughs, and all the way through the run, we're still inventing new business. I was just amazed at that.
Well,
you were
do you remember the thing where we had the table about the third preview? We had a card table, and we went and we got up and I went to put it down, and the table collapsed under me, so it had legs that collapsed, and I had to go and put the whole thing down on the floor like that. And then we kept it in every night. We kept this thing would just sort of collapse and go down there, and every time we used to meet people, didn't we? After we said, "I was there the night the table collapsed."
Griff, thank you very much.
Pleasure. Thank you.
It was in 1985 that you play your part in creating the BBC's most spectacular success ever. The first episode of a brand new soap is transmitted on February the 19th of that year, and almost at once becomes the most talked about show in the country. The woes of alcoholic Angie and Dirty Den enthrall the nation.
Don't get out your pram, Dennis.
Well, get off my back.
Look, I'm sorry if you think I'm having a go at you. It's just that I'd like to think while you're lying under that hot Mediterranean sunshine, you'd spare a thought for me here. Because I'll be thinking of you, you know.
You lying, deceitful, adulterous toe rag, you.
Look, Sharon, I've just been straight with you, ain't I?
Look, Mum, I won't tell Dad if that's what you think.
I love you, Mum.
Do you?
I lied to him. I told him something that just wasn't true, and he believed me. If he ever found out, he'd kill me. Yeah, he would. He'd kill me. Cast your eyes on this little lot. What is it? My decree nisi. In 6 weeks' time, I am going to be Dennis Watts's ex-wife.
And they've come out for a night up west, the cream of Walford. Your old mates from Albert Square. Gretchen Franklin. Ross Davidson. Wendy Richard. June Brown. Pam St. Clement. Gillian Telford. Jane Howe. Shirley Cheriton. And Letitia Dean. Wendy, take us back to day one.
So I've started to cry, Anita. There was one write-up in particular after the first episode, and it said, Angie Watts has enough spark and vitality to light up the whole of Albert Square, and you did.
Thank you.
Gillian, you remember a few girls' nights out?
Yes, yes, and one in particular I remember is if Neats does. It was Neats, Letitia, myself and Sue Talley that went out one night and just visited a few drinking establishments, as you do along the way, and we piled into a cab, stayed at Neats' flat in the East End. It was brilliant, one-bedroom flat there, and Sue Talley lost the bet, she had to sleep on the floor, and me, Neats and Tish ended up spending the night in Neats' double bed, and it was brilliant. We laughed all evening. We don't know what time we went to sleep, like 2 in the morning, but it was just one of those lovely, lovely evenings that I'll never forget. Thanks for that very much, mate. Cheers.
Wow, I like the sound of that one. Letitia, tell us about your screen mum.
Well, thank you so much for looking after me and showing me the ropes. You're the best TV mum ever. Thank you. Oh, apart from you.
Do you know this? You know, the first day of my first rehearsal on the set, this little one, what were you, 16?
Yeah, just. Yeah.
16. And she went off, and I was doing a little scene with Leslie, and there was a tap on the shoulder. She went, "Here, Mum, here's a cup of tea." And I thought, I've arrived, now I'm home.
Well, when you leave EastEnders, your departure even makes headlines on the 6 o'clock news.
But the character she plays, the ex-wife of the pub landlord Dirty Den, will not be killed off in case Miss Dobson wants to come back, says the BBC.
Now, after 14 years out of sight but not out of mind, the word is that Angie is about to go the same way as Dirty Den. Can you put us out of our agony?
I can. She's for the chop. She's off. She's out. She's going.
How do you feel about that?
I think it's time. I think it's definitely time.
After leaving EastEnders, you're determined to prove that as an actress you have much more to do. And you appear with acclaim in Molière's Le Bourgeois Gentilhomme and in the Stephen Berkoff farce Kvetch. And now you're busier than ever. In 1999, you're in a revival of The Pyjama Game at the Victoria Palace. And most recently, you're at the Arts Theatre in the show nominated for an Olivier Award, The Vagina Monologues. But back to the telly. 2 years ago, there was a moment in the series Hearts and Bones that gave us all a chance for a good snivel. Well, now to America to hear from Amanda Holden, who was playing your daughter. Over to Los Angeles.
You had to play a woman who was terminally ill with cancer. And I remember we were all very excited to have you on board because we were massive fans of EastEnders and you're such a brilliant actress.
Are you comfortable? Is there anything I can do?
Just be here. Read to me. Hold my hand while I sleep. Just hold my hand.
And we had to do our scenes and they were really hard. I'm crying and you're crying and the crew was crying and the big beefy Sparks were crying, the director was crying. And then the camera stopped and you went... Anyway, so, as I was saying, I think Harvey Nicks is the best place to buy your underwear. What do you think, Amanda? And I was like, yeah, no, I think so as well. And everyone fell about laughing. That's how you work. You're so good. You made the situation so brilliant off camera that when we had to shoot the difficult scenes, they were just perfect, and it was down to you. I'm really proud to be one of your friends, and Les's as well. Lots of love.
Most recently on the telly, you've been on the other side of the law in the BBC crime series NCS Manhunt with 007's Miss Moneypenny, Samantha Bond. But, Anita, let's take one more trip back to Albert Square. As Angie packed her bags and flew off to Florida, another suitcase appeared in the hallway.
That was mine, Anita. And while Angie was basking in the sun, they had me flogging ats on Walford Market, didn't they?
That naughty Cindy Beale, Michelle Collins.
I started the day you left. And so you're always a bit of a myth to me and a bit of an icon. And it took 10 years for us to finally meet, didn't it? And I was doing Sunburn, and Anita came out to play a sort of Shirley Valentine character. And I was absolutely petrified of meeting you. And you came out, and you were so lovely and fantastic, and I was going through a hard time, and you were so brilliant to Maya. And I just want to say that I don't think EastEnders would be the success today if it wasn't for you, for your performance. And I love you.
I love you.
To complete your happiness, 18 months ago, you and Brian were married in Richmond upon Thames. And Brian, that picture is a rarity.
That's the picture that nobody saw, yeah. We really wanted the wedding to be private. You know, we were determined that it was for family only, and for us, and that we were going to keep the press out. So we kept it private, and no one's seen that until this time, really.
So, one way or another, you've got it sorted. Finally, let me take you back to your childhood in the East End. Family gatherings were the highlights of your life, and it was at those parties that you took your first steps as an entertainer. Sadly, your father died some years ago, and your mother isn't in the best of health, but she was determined that she wasn't going to miss your big night. So, with the permission of her doctors, she is here with family friend Laurie Gales, your mother, Anne. Anita Dobson, this is your life.
Up next on BBC One, the National Lottery.